Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there reigned a king named Bedtime. He was blessed with 3 sons, and the youngest among them was named Ivan. King Bedtime possessed a magnificent garden where a special apple tree grew, bearing golden apples of extraordinary beauty. However, the tranquility of the king's garden was disrupted by a persistent thief who stole the precious golden apples. The king grew increasingly despondent over the plight of his beloved garden. He dispatched sentries to guard it, but they proved unable to apprehend the elusive thief. As the king's sorrow grew, he lost his appetite and could no longer find solace in food or drink. Witnessing their father's distress, the 3 sons offered their support and comforted him. "Dear father, do not despair. We shall take it upon ourselves to safeguard the garden," said the eldest son. Thus the eldest son embarked on his duty. However, when evening fell, he succumbed to fatigue, finding a soft patch of grass to rest upon, and before long he was sound asleep. The next morning, the king inquired if he had spotted the thief. "No, dear father," replied the eldest son. "I remained awake throughout the night, yet I did not catch even a glimpse of the culprit." On the subsequent night, the middle son took his turn to stand watch. Alas, he too succumbed to weariness and slumbered through the night. When questioned by the king, he admitted to seeing nothing. Finally, it was time for the youngest brother, Ivan the Prince, to undertake the task. Fearful of letting his father down, Ivan dared not even sit down, let alone rest. To keep himself awake, he washed his face with the dew-laden grass. As the night wore on, he was greeted by a radiant glow emanating from the garden, a luminosity that intensified with each passing moment. In awe, Ivan witnessed a firebird alighting upon the apple tree, feasting on the golden apples. Silently, Ivan approached the tree, cautiously seizing the firebird by its tail. The creature awoke, startled, and swiftly took flight, leaving behind a single feather clutched in Ivan's hand. The following morning, Ivan approached his father with the evidence of his encounter. "Father," he said, "though I failed to capture the thief, I have discovered who plunders our garden. I present to you this keepsake from the culprit, a feather of the firebird." The king accepted the feather, and from that moment onward his sorrow lifted and his appetite returned. It was then that he resolved to confront this firebird. Gathering his sons, he spoke to them earnestly. "My dear children, saddle your finest steeds and embark on a journey to explore the world. Familiarize yourselves with distant lands, but do not engage with the firebird." The sons bowed before their father, prepared their horses, and set forth on their individual quests. The eldest ventured in one direction, the middle son took another, and Ivan the Prince embarked on the 3rd path. Ivan travelled far and wide, enduring the arduous journey that seemed to stretch on indefinitely. Weary and disheartened, he dismounted from his horse, securing it safely before succumbing to fatigue and slumber. When Ivan awoke, he discovered his horse had vanished, reduced to a pile of bones. Bereft of his faithful companion, he pondered his predicament. Well, he reasoned, there is no choice but to continue on foot. And so, Ivan pressed forward, traversing great distances on foot until exhaustion threatened to consume him. Collapsing onto the soft grass, he lamented his circumstances. Suddenly, a grey wolf appeared, darting toward him. The wolf addressed Ivan, who hung his head in sorrow. "Why do you grieve, Ivan the Prince?" the wolf inquired. "How can I not be sad, dear grey wolf?" "I have lost my cherished horse," Ivan responded. The wolf confessed, "It was I, Ivan the Prince, who devoured your horse. I feel pity for you. Tell me, why have you embarked on such a far-flung journey? Where are you headed?" "My father has sent me on a quest to find the firebird traversing the entire world," Ivan explained. The wolf chuckled, remarking, "Ah, Ivan the Prince, even with your fine horse, you could not reach the firebird in 3 years' time. I alone possess knowledge of its whereabouts. Come, I have eaten your horse, and now I shall serve you faithfully. Mount my back and hold on tight." Ivan complied, seating himself upon the wolf's back as they set off. The wolf galloped swiftly, with Ivan witnessing the majestic landscapes rush by, azure forests and shimmering lakes, until they arrived at a towering fortress. The grey wolf advised Ivan, saying, "Listen closely, Ivan the prince. Climb over the fortress wall without fear, for the hour is opportune, and all the guards slumber. Inside the tower you will find a window adorned with a golden cage, in which resides the firebird. Take the bird and place it in your pocket, but be sure not to touch the cage." Ivan scaled the fortress wall and beheld the tower. True to the wolf's words, a golden cage housed the firebird within the window. He carefully pocketed the bird, unable to resist glancing at the captivating cage. In that moment, his heart flared with desire. How could he resist such a treasure? Forgetting the wolf's warning, Ivan extended his hand to touch the cage. Instantly, a cacophony of sound reverberated throughout the fortress. Trumpets blared, drums thundered, and the guards awoke, apprehending Ivan the prince before leading him to King Afron. King Afron, incensed by the intrusion, demanded an explanation. "Who are you, and from whence do you come?" "I am Ivan the prince, son of King Berenday," Ivan replied with humility. "What a disgrace!" King Afron exclaimed. "A prince stooping to theft. If only you had approached me with honesty, respecting the authority of your father, Tsar Berenday. Now your reputation shall be marred, and news of your transgressions will spread throughout the cities. But fear not, for if you serve me well, I shall grant you forgiveness. In my neighboring kingdom, King Kuzman possesses a magnificent horse with a golden mane. Bring it to me, and in return I shall bestow upon you the firebird and its cage." Ivan, burdened by sorrow, returned to the grey wolf. He confessed his missteps, pleading for forgiveness. The wolf, though disappointed, relented. "I warned you not to touch the cage. I warned you not to touch the cage, Ivan the prince. Alas, what's done is done. Sit upon my back once more. There are words we need—" And so the grey wolf carried Ivan on his back as they travelled once more. Eventually they arrived at the fortress where the golden-maned horse resided. The wolf imparted instructions. "Ascend the wall, Ivan the prince. The guards are fast asleep. Once inside the stable, secure the horse, but take care not to touch its bridle." Ivan followed the wolf's guidance, entering the fortress unnoticed. He located the stable and seized the golden-maned horse. However, enticed by its opulent beauty, Ivan succumbed to temptation, disobeying the wolf's warning and taking hold of the embellished bridle. In an instant, the fortress reverberated with clamour, the blare of trumpets, the beat of drums, as the guards awakened and apprehended Ivan. Once again, he was brought before a king, this time facing Tsar Kuzman. Tsar Kuzman chastised Ivan, exclaiming, "Who do you think you are, young man? What madness possessed you to steal a horse? Such audacity is beyond comprehension. But I shall offer you mercy, Ivan the prince, if you agree to serve me faithfully in the realm of King Dalmat. There dwells a maiden named Helena the Beautiful. Bring her to me, and I shall reward you with a steed of gold and a magnificent bridle." Ivan's sorrow deepened, and he sought solace from the grey wolf once again. "I told you, Ivan the prince, to refrain from touching the bridle. Why did you not heed my command?" The wolf reproached him. forgive me, dear grey wolf," Ivan implored, full of remorse. "Apologies are insufficient. Mount my back, for there are matters left unsaid," the wolf replied. The grey wolf, assuming responsibility, infiltrated the fortress alone. Ivan retraced his steps, and as he travelled, the grey wolf appeared, carrying Helena, the Beautiful, on his back. Filled with joy, Ivan thanked the wolf. "Quickly, Ivan the prince, mount me as though we were being pursued," the wolf urged. Once more, the grey wolf sped forward with Ivan and Helena, the Beautiful. Forests and rivers blurred past them as they journeyed. Eventually they arrived before Tsar Kuzman, and the wolf offered counsel. Ivan the prince, keep the horse and Helena the beautiful hidden away. I shall transform into her likeness, and you shall present me to the king." Following the wolf's plan, Ivan concealed Helena the beautiful and the golden man's steed in a forest hut. As the wolf assumed Helena's appearance, Ivan guided him to Tsar Kuzman's court. The Tsar, overjoyed, expressed gratitude to Ivan. "Ivan the prince, you have brought me a bride. In return, I grant you the golden horse with its splendid bridle," Tsar Kuzman proclaimed. Ivan, now astride the golden horse, embarked on his return journey with Helena the beautiful. Together they rode homeward. Tsar Kuzman arranged a grand wedding celebration, a feast that extended late into the evening. As night fell, the time came for the newlyweds to retire to their chamber. To their astonishment, when Tsar Kuzman beheld Helena the beautiful, he saw the face of a wolf staring back at him. Startled, the Tsar tumbled from the bed, and the wolf swiftly made his escape. The grey wolf, catching up to Ivan the prince, inquired, "What troubles you, Ivan the prince?" "How could I not be troubled?" Ivan replied. "Parting with such a treasure, it pains me to exchange Helena the beautiful for a mere horse. Do not despair, for I shall aid you once more," the wolf assured him. Thus they arrived at the court of King Afron. The wolf advised Ivan, saying, "Conceal the horse and Helena the beautiful. I shall transform into the golden steed, and you will present me to King Afron." Following the wolf's guidance, Ivan hid Helena the beautiful and the horse amidst the forest. The grey wolf draped himself over the horse's back, assuming the appearance of the golden-maned steed. Ivan then led him to King Afron, who greeted them with delight, presenting Ivan with the firebird and its golden cage. Once again, Ivan embarked on his journey, this time accompanied by Helena the beautiful and the firebird. But as King Afron prepared to mount the gift horse, the steed transformed back into the grey wolf. King Afron tumbled to the ground in terror, and the wolf vanished into the distance. The grey wolf caught up with Ivan, bidding him farewell. Ivan expressed his gratitude, bowing 3 times in reverence. "Though we part ways now, Ivan the prince, I shall be of use to you in the future," the wolf proclaimed. Perplexed, Ivan pondered, wondering what further assistance the wolf could offer. Nonetheless, he bid the creature farewell and mounted the golden-maned horse once more, resuming his journey with Helena the beautiful and the firebird. When they arrived at their destination, Ivan desired sustenance and retrieved a loaf of bread. As they savoured their meal and quenched their thirst with spring water, exhaustion overcame Ivan, and he drifted into a deep sleep. Unbeknownst to him, his brothers, having embarked on their own fruitless quests, stumbled upon him. Observing Ivan's triumphs, they conspired in jealousy, devising a plan to murder their brother and seize his treasures. And so they carried out their wicked scheme, ending Ivan's life. Mounting the golden-maned horse, they claimed the firebird, placed Helena the beautiful on the steed, and sternly instructed her, "Do not utter a word of this at home." Meanwhile, Ivan lay lifeless, his body attracting the attention of circling crows. Suddenly, a grey wolf pounced upon a crow and a raven, holding them captive. "Fly, raven, and bring me water from both the realm of the living and the realm of the dead. In return, I shall release your crow companion," the wolf declared. Left with no choice, the raven took flight, while the wolf detained the crow. After a brief absence, the raven returned, delivering both living and dead water to the wolf. Sprinkling the dead water upon Ivan's wounds, the wolf witnessed their miraculous healing. He then splashed Ivan with the living water, and to everyone's astonishment, Ivan the prince was restored to life. "Oh, how soundly I slept!" Ivan exclaimed upon awakening. "You slumbered deeply, Ivan the prince. Without my invention, you would have never awakened again. Your treacherous brothers killed you and absconded with your spoils. Mount me once more, for we must pursue them." The wolf instructed. With vengeance in their hearts, Ivan and the grey wolf set off, quickly overtaking the brothers. The wolf tore them apart, scattering their remains across the field. Ivan expressed his deepest gratitude to the grey wolf, bidding him farewell for the last time. Riding back on the golden-maned horse, Ivan returned to his homeland, presenting his father with the cherished firebird and his bride, Helena the Beautiful. King Berenday, overjoyed, sought an account of his son's adventures. Ivan the prince recounted the story, emphasizing the grey wolf's invaluable aid and his brother's betrayal. King Berenday mourned for his lost sons, but found solace in their return. Ivan the prince and Helena the Beautiful lived henceforth in eternal happiness, free from sorrow and strife, and their tale, a tale of triumph and redemption, would be passed down through the generations, a cherished piece of their kingdom's lore.